Professional education. Let's have number 1. This is also known as the Philippine Teachers Professionalization Act of 1994. Letter A, RA 7836, B, PD 1006, C, PD 1001, D, RA 7856. So the correct answer is letter A. Why? Republic Act 7836 is the Philippine Teachers Professionalization Act of 1994, which strengthens regulation and licensing of teachers. Why letter B and why letter B, C, D are wrong? Letter B, Presidential Decree 1006, it's just the decree professionalizing teacher but not the 1994 Act. While C, Presidential Decree 1001, not related to teacher professionalization. Letter D, RA 7856, different law and not about teachers. Therefore, the answer is letter A, RA 7836. Which of the following law strengthens teachers' education in the Philippines through the establishments of centers of excellence? A, RA 7722, B, RA 7796, C, RA 7784, letter D, RA 7834. Correct answer is C, RA 7784. Why is that so? RA 7784 establishes Centers of Excellence, or the COE, to strengthen teacher education programs across the country. So why the others are wrong? Letter A, RA 7722, it's a law about CHED, not COE. Meanwhile, 7796 is the TESDA law. The 7834 Republic Act of 7834 not related to teacher COE. So, atong timanan 7784 for COE, Centers of Excellence, 7722 CHED, 7796 TESDA law. Balik, 7784 for COE, 7722 for CHED, 7796 for TESDA law. RA 7784 for COE, RA 7722 for CHED, RA 7796 for TESDA law. So the correct answer is letter C, RA 7784, the Centers of Excellence. Number 3, what type of education can best prepare a global teacher for a truly limitless and boundless world? A, formal education, B, inclusive education, C, alternative education, D, multicultural education. So the code here is truly limitless and boundless world. So the right answer is multicultural education. Why? For the word global teacher. So ang global teacher is a multicultural education, prepares teachers and learners to understand and work with diverse cultures, essential in a globalized world. So why is letter A, B, and C are wrong? A, formal education focuses on structured schooling, not a global awareness. So formal man ang atong gipangita kay global teacher. So when we say global, multicultural. Letter B, inclusive education focuses on students with diverse needs, not global culture. Meanwhile, C, alternative education for out-of-school learning, not specifically global. So the correct answer is letter D, multicultural education. Number 4, the emphasis on joining professional organization was found in this document. A, NCBTS, B, CBPAST, C, IPPD, D, NCBTS. In teaching profession subject, so the correct answer is letter A, NCBTS. The NCBTS means National Competency-Based Teacher Standards. NCBTS means National Competency-Based Teacher Standards. Emphasizes joining professional organization under Domain 7, personal growth, and professional development. So why the others are wrong? Ang letter B, CB pass for teacher evaluation, joining organization but not emphasize. C, IPPD, teacher's personal plan doesn't state the requirement. And the last one is the DNCBTS, a checklist tool, not the document defining competences. The correct answer is letter A. So, number 5, if you have to develop in the students a correct sense of right and wrong, with which should you be concerned according to Freud? According to Freud. So, the word here is the correct sense of right and wrong. So the answer is letter B. Why is superego? Freud, superego is the moral part of personality, guiding decisions about right and wrong. Superego is the moral part of personality, guiding decisions about right and wrong. Meanwhile, the letter A, id, pleasure seeking, not moral. Pleasure seeking, more on pleasure. Meanwhile, ego, reality based, not the source of moral judgment. Letter D, superego and ego, only superego controls morality. Therefore, the answer is letter B, superego. Number 6, Joyce, a 12-month-old child, walks without support because of the internal ripening that occurred in his muscles, bones, and nervous system development. A, growth. B, development. C, maturation. D, learning. From the word there, internal ripening. Internal ripening. So, the correct answer is C, maturation. Maturation refers to biological and internal growth that enables new abilities like walking. Why the others are wrong? Ang letter A, growth, refers to size, height increase, dili skill sa bata. Ang letter C, development, broader changes, not specifically biological readiness. Ang atong gipangita diri, internal ripening that occurred in his muscles. So, mo yung internal ripening, it means kanang madala na sa bata nga makaya niyang siya ra. So, letter D, learning, requires experience, walking readiness, and is biological, not thought. Dili gitudlo. Wala gitudlo. So, the answer is letter C, maturation. Let's have number 7. All teachers in the 21st century should be blank. Digital citizens. B, digital immigrants. C, digital natives. Letter D, digital police. The correct answer is letter A, digital citizens. Why is that so? Teachers today must be responsible digital citizens able to use technology ethically and effectively. Digital natives are students born with technology. Teachers are not necessarily natives. Dili sila din ha. So, why the others are wrong? Anong letter B in digital natives? Digital natives refers to youth born in the technological era. Not all teachers are. Mostly sa mga teachers nowadays, kay born in mga 1990s, like nga na. Ang digital immigrants, technology users not born in tech era. Incomplete answers. Dili siya pwede. Letter D, digital police, not an educational term. Murag lahi lang ni. So the correct answer is letter A, digital citizens. So all the teachers in the 21st century should be A, digital citizens. Number 8, which of the following encompasses all these concepts? A, computers. B, internet. C, technology. D, gadgets. The correct answer is letter C, technology. Why letter C, technology? The technology includes computer, internet, gadgets. So, kaning nasa letter A, B, D, na nasulod sa technology and all other digital tools. So, letter A, computers, nganong sayop, only one type of technology. Also, the internet and the gadget. Ang gadgets, only devices, not the whole field of the technology. Therefore, the correct answer for the number 8 is letter C, technology. Let's have number 9. In designing the curriculum, which make up the tools and instruments for instruction? Letter A, the teaching learning resources. B, instruction strategies. C, learning outcomes. Letter D, assessment methods. So the word here is designing the curriculum at the tools or the instruments for instruction. Instruments for instruction. So correct answer is letter A, teaching learning resources. Teaching learning resources, or we called it TLMS, are the tools, materials, and instruments used for instruction such as modules, textbooks, media, and learning aids or the visual aids. So, nganong letter B, C, D kay sayop? Ang letter B, instruction strategies, it's just the methods or it's not a tool. So, ang atong gipangita diri kay instruments or the tools for designing a curriculum. So, letter C, learning outcomes, expected results, not instruments. So, makita si learning outcomes dito sa lesson plan. And the last one is the assessment methods, ways to measure learning, not teaching tools. Therefore, the correct answer for the number 9 is letter A, teaching learning resources.
Professional education, so number 10. So which is one role of play in the pre-early childhood years? So A, develop competitive spirit. B, separates reality from fantasy. C, increase imagination due to expanding knowledge and emotional range. So let's have the rationalization. So in pre-early childhood, age 2 to 4, children engage in pretend play which boosts imagination and helps them understand emotions and the world around them. So the A is competition doesn't develop until later around age 5 to 7, so it's not a major rule of play at this age. And then the B is young children often mix fantasy and reality, so they don't clearly separate the two until later. So the answer here is letter C, increase imagination due to expanding knowledge and emotional range. So let's have number 11. So INSAT and NET result are interpreted against SAT mastery level. This means NAT and NET fall under A, intelligent test, B, aptitude test, C, criterion reference test, D, norm reference test. So let's have a rationalization. So criterion reference test, this type of test measured a student performance against a predefined set of criteria or mastery level. So in the case of NSAT and NET, the results are interpreted against a SAT and standard or mastery level, so which fits the description of criterion reference test. So the answer here is letter C. Let's have number 12. So which is a sound classroom management practice? A, avoid establishing routines. B, establishing routines for all daily needs tasks. C, apply rules and policies on a case-to-case basis. Or D, apply reactive approach to discipline. So let's have rationalization. So establishing routines for all daily needs tasks is a sound classroom's management practice because it helps students know what to expect or reduce confusion and fosters structured environments. So when routines are clear, students can focus more on learning and lesson on uncertainty. And then the avoid establishing routines. So without routines, students might feel disoriented or leading to increased disruptions and chaos in the classroom. And then the apply rules and policies on a case-to-case. So this can lead to an inconsistency, confusion, and lack of fairness. So consistency in rules and policies is crucial for maintaining order. And then the apply reactive approach to disciplines is reactive approach means waiting for a problem to occur before addressing them, which can result in a lack of control. So a proactive approach like setting clear expectation is more effective in preventing disruption. So the answer here is letter B. Let's have number 13. So teacher who teaches to his people that pleasure is not the highest good. So teachers teaching is against what philosophy? A, realism, B, hedonism, C, epicureanism, D, empiricism. So let's have a rationalization. So hedonism is the philosophical belief that pleasure or happiness is the highest good and the ultimate goal of human life. So if teacher Yu is teaching that pleasure is not the highest good, so then his teaching goes against hedonism. So the realism, this philosophy emphasizes the objective existence of things and reality as it is. It doesn't specifically focus on pleasure being the highest good or not. And then the Epicureanism, so although similar to the Hinduism, so Epicureanism advocates for a balanced life of moderate pleasure rather than a result of excessive pleasure. However, it still values pleasure, it's just in a controlled way. So empiricism, so this philosophy emphasizes knowledge coming from sensory experience and does not specifically address pleasure as the highest good. So the answer for this is hedonism. So let's have the number 14. So during the Spanish period, so what was or were the medium or media of instruction in school? A, the vernacular, B, English, C, Spanish, D, Spanish and the vernacular. So let's have the rationalization. So during the Spanish period, schools use Spanish for tutorial educations, but also use the vernacular or local language to teach students in some areas. The Spanish is the main language in official and church-run schools, and then the vernacular or local languages like Tagalog, Ilocano were also used in some regions. So the answer for this is both the Spanish and the vernacular is letter D. So let's have number 15. So which with indirect instruction in mind, which does not belong to the group. So A, problem solving, B, lecture recitation, C, inductive reasoning, D, discovery. So let's have the rationalization. So indirect instruction involves teaching method where students are encouraged to explore, discover, or solve problems on their own. So with the teacher acting more as a guide than directing source of information. And then the problem solving, inductive reasoning, and discovery are all forms of indirect instruction. So in these methods, students take an active role in learning by exploring concept, making observation, and developing conclusion independently or in groups. And then the lecture recitations, on the other hand, is a more direct form of instructions where the teacher actively presents information and student mostly listen and respond. So the answer here is lecture recitations. So let's have number 16. So I combine several subject areas in order to focus in a single concept for interdisciplinary teaching. So which strategy or method did I use? So A, problem-centered learning, B, thematic instruction, C, reading, writing activity, D, and-tell method. So let's have the rationalization. So thematic instructions involves combining several subject areas to focus on a single concept or the theme. So this approach allows students to explore the theme in a deeper and more interconnected way across different disciplines, such as combining science, math, language areas, language arts, and social studies to explore a single topic. And then the problem-centered learning focuses on using real-world problem to drive learning. So rather than integrating multiple subject areas around a central theme. And then the reading writing activity typically involves activities to develop reading and writing skills, not integrating multiple subjects around one theme. And then the unit method involves organizing teaching around a particular unit or topic, but does not necessarily combine multiple subjects under a single theme. So the answer here is thematic instruction. So let's have for number 17. So for maximum interaction, a teacher ought to avoid questions. So A, informational, B, rhetorical, C, leading, D, diverse. So let's have the rationalization. So informational questions typically require a factual, short answer and don't encourage deep thinking or interaction. So this type of questions can limit students' engagement and discussion because they often don't require much student input beyond recalling informations. And then the rhetorical questions, so these are asked for effect or to provoke thought, not to get an answer. So they can stimulate interaction but are usually not meant to require an actual response. And then the leading questions so this suggests a specific answer or guide student toward a particular response, while they might limit the range of student answers, so they can still encourage discussion or reasoning. And then the divergent question, so this encourage multiple possible answer and promote critical thinking, creativity, and maximum interaction. They are ideal for classroom discussion. So the answer for this is informational. So next is number 18. So the teacher's first task in the selection of media and teaching is to determine the blank. So A, choice of the student; B, availability of the media; C, objectives of the lesson; D, technique to be used. So let's have the rationalization. So the teacher's first task in selecting media for teaching is to align the choice of media with the objectives of the lesson. So the media should support the enhance the learning goals. So by determining the objectives, so first the teacher can select the most appropriate media that will best help achieve those goals. And then the choice of the students. So while it's important to consider the students' preferences, it should not be the first priority. So the lesson objective should come first to guide media selection. Then the availability of the media. So this is important, but it comes after the teacher has identified the lesson objectives. And then the technique to be used. So the technique or how the lesson will be taught is also important, but it should be aligned with the lesson's objectives before choosing specific media. So the answer for this is objectives of the lesson.
Okay, number 19, learning by doing, refers to which educational philosophy? So the answer is letter D, progressivism. So why? So progressivism focuses on hands-on learning, where students learn through experience. No? So this matches the idea of learning by doing. Philosophies focus on traditional or personal learning, not on experiential learning. So that is why B is the correct answer. For number 20, which is the best example of formative assessment? So, okay, so self-explanatory, no? So the answer is letter C, oral recitation feedback. So mga nakita formative assessment, mo to siya. It is done during learning to help students improve, no? During discussions. No? So oral recitation feedback gives immediate correction or guidance, which makes it clearly formative. So periodic exams and final portfolios are an example na siya sa summative assessment, not formative. Okay, for number 21, who proposed cognitive development stages? So who among of these choices? Yes, so the answer is letter C, si Piaget. So Jean Piaget created the 4 cognitive development stages, now that explain how children's thinking grows. Nato siya, upat ka cognitive development stages. Sensory motor, pre-operational, concrete operational, and formal operational. Okay, let's proceed to number 22. So a teacher explains first before asking students to explore. So this is an example of, yes, the answer is letter B, deductive. So why? So when kita deductive, it starts with general rules, no, or explanation, and then moves to examples or exploration. So this matches the scenario, and yung opposite ani is the inductive, which is maguna sa exploration, di sa explanation. Next is number 23. The highest level of Bloom's cognitive domain is, yes, the answer is letter D. So in the revised Bloom's taxonomy, so creating is the top level. It involves making or producing something new, which requires the highest thinking skill. So next, number 24, what does PPST stands for? So the answer is letter B, Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers. So PPST is the official framework that lists the skills and standards expected from teachers in our country. Okay, number 25. So, a teacher provides temporary support to help students perform a task they cannot do alone. So, what concept is this? Or what concept is applied? So, the answer is letter B, scaffolding. So, scaffolding is the temporary help, no, a teacher gives until si student makabalo and makawork siya independently. Okay, for number 26. A student prefers learning through graphs, charts, and diagrams. So what learning styles does the student have? So the answer is letter A is visual spatial. So why? So kang kuan man ni kang um, Dr. Howard Gardner, no? Dito ang nine kabuok multiple intelligences. So mga uri ng talino. So according to him, um, intelligence kay dili ra kay isa, no, but nailay-laing klase sa intelligence. So usa na ni ang visual spatial, so where individuals makasabot sila sa information if nasa sila makita na images, diagrams, or charts. So if i-connect na to sa students, no, so students learn best if nasa sila makita ang charts, diagrams, visual aids sa board. And so for number 27, so which assessment is used to check if a program or curriculum is effective overall? So, self-explanatory gyapon. So, the answer is letter B, summative. So, muna itong summative assessment, it is done at the end sa program, no? To measure your program or kanang unit, no? To measure yung overall success. It checks if ang goals and objectives niya kay na-achieve ba. Niya, na-achieve ba. So, yeah.
Alright, for number 28. A student claims, I cannot see it is so I won't believe. Under which group can he be classified? A. Idealist, B. Realist, C. Pragmatist, or D. Empirist. So the answer would be D. Empirist. Why? It's simply because empiricists rather emphasize evidence from senses. Idealist is wrong because idealists emphasize ideas over physically or physical reality. Realist is also wrong because it focuses on reality independent of perception. Same goes with pragmatist, which is wrong because pragmatists focus on practical outcomes. Alright, for number 29. When we convince our student that pleasure is not only good in life, we object to the teachings of A. Skepticism, B. Stoicism, C. Epicureanism, or D. Humanism. So the best answer is letter C. Epicureanism. Why? Because simply Epicureanism because simply Epicureanism emphasizes pursuit of pleasure, while skepticism questions knowledge claims, Stoicism emphasizes reason and self control, and humanism emphasizes human dignity and worth. So the best answer is Epicureanism. 30. When teacher tries to elicit clarifications on students' response or solicits additional information, which of these should be used? A. Directing, B. Probing, C. Structuring, or D. Cross-examining. So the best answer is probing, because probing involves asking questions to clarify or seek more information, while directing is a directing guide students toward answers. Structuring is the organizes the lesson, while cross-examining is more confrontational. That's why the best answer is probing. 31. What is the primary advantage of active learning techniques, such as discussion, role play, gaming, and more? In instruction, A. Higher thinking, B. Problem solving, C. Student engagement, D. Focus on question, not answer. So what is the best answer? It is C. Student engagement. Why? It's because it is an active learning techniques that promotes students engage. While higher thinking is wrong because engagement leads to higher thinking but isn't the primary advantage. Problem solving is wrong because problem solving is one type of active learning. And focus on question is also wrong because focus is broader than just questions. Next item, 32. These are right given in the child in the indigenous minorities but not to include A. To profess his or her religion, B. To enjoy his or her culture. C. To enjoy his or her own language. Or D. To be exempted from formal education. So the best answer is D. To be exempted from formal education. Why? Because this is not a right. Education is generally encouraged, while professed religion is wrong because it is recognized right. Same goes with enjoy culture and use language. That's why the best answer is letter D, to be exempted from formal education. Next, number 33. Which of the following simulations to abstract the real world learning? A. Monopoly. B. Role playing. C. Chess. D. Scrabble. The best answer is A. Monopoly. Why? Because Monopoly simulates economic activities, while role playing is just simulating social interactions. Chess is a strategy game. Scrabble is a word game. So the best answer is A. Monopoly. 34. Following the principles of punishing students, which of the following is the least desirable strategy for classroom management? A. Punishing while angry. B. Give punishment sparingly. C. Punishing the erring student rather than the entire class. Or D. Punishing while clarifying why punishment is done. So the best answer is A. Why? Simply because punishing in anger can be unfair and ineffective. While B. Give sparingly is wrong because effective punishment is sparing. C. Punish individual is also wrong because targeting individuals is often the best. Clarify why is also wrong because explaining punishment is effective. So the best answer is punishing while angry because it is the least desirable strategy for classroom management. 35. What kind of literary works are very creative by the way of descriptive language and dramatic episodes? A. Fiction novels. B. Historical accounts. C. Biography. D. Autobiography. The best answer is A. Fiction novels. Because fiction novels often feature creative language and dramatic episodes, while historical accounts is wrong because historical accounts aims for factual accuracy. Biography is also wrong because it focuses on factual life stories. Autobiography is wrong because autobiographies are personal life stories. Alright, so let's have number 36. What is the descriptor for a numerical grade of 95 as level of proficiency? A. Did not meet the expectations. B. Outstanding. C. Very dissatisfactory. Or D. Satisfactory. So the best answer or the correct answer is B. Outstanding. Why? So typically, 95 is considered outstanding, while did not meet is wrong because 95 is a high score. Very satisfactory is also wrong because 95 is higher than satisfactory. While D is satisfactory is wrong because 95 is above satisfactory.
For item number 37, once a teacher, forever a learner. What is the role of the teacher according to the statement? A. Student. B. Guidance counselor. C. Professional. D. Coach. The answer is letter A. Student. Because a student is someone who is studying or learning. For item number 38, based on the PPST and the progression of career stages for teachers, which is highest? A. Professional. B. Excellent. C. Distinguished. D. Model. So the answer is letter B, excellent, in which the PPST or the Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers outlines career stages with distinguished as the highest level, implying excellence in practice. For item number 39, based on the PPST and the progression of career stages for teachers, which is lowest? A. Junior, B. Neophyte, C. Apprentice, D. Beginning. Alright, the answer is letter D, beginning, because the PPST starts with the beginning stage, which refers to new teachers. For item number 40, to be part of the community ensures the teachers blank. A. Membership, B. Participation, C. Obedience, D. Freedom. And the answer is letter B, participation. Why? Because being part of a community ensures the teachers actively participating its activities. For item number 41, internal stakeholders of the school include the following except A. Parents, B. Students, C. Officials, D. Teachers. Alright, the answer is letter C, officials, in which community officials are generally external to the school's direct internal operations. For item number 42, the following pertains to managers except blank. A. Work, B. Do things right, C. Innovate, D. Administer. What is the answer? The answer is letter C, innovate. Innovation goes outside the scope of work of managers. For item number 43, if education is a function of society, it has to be A. Free, B. Complete, C. Selective, D. Relevant. The answer is letter D, relevant. Why? Because if education is to serve society effectively, it must be relevant to the needs and challenges of that society. For item number 44, the legal basis for the implementation of the K-12 program is blank. What is the answer? The answer is RA 10533, or also known as the Enhanced Basic Education Act of 2013, officially provides the legal framework for the K-12 program in the Philippines. For item number 45, the question is, who developed the cyclic model of curriculum development? A. D. Key Wheeler, B. Helda Taba, C. Ralph Tyler, D. John Dewey. The answer is letter A, in which he proposed a cyclical model of curriculum development, emphasizing continuous evaluation and improvement.
46. Under which category will a globe as an instructional material fall? A. Picture, B. Model, C. Mock-up, D. Realia. The correct answer is letter B, model. It is a 3D representation like globe. So in picture, it is 2D, and a mock-up is a replica of a device or a system. In realia, it is an actual real objects. 47. Which developmental stage is sometimes called the preschool years? A. Middle childhood, B. Late infancy, C. Early childhood, D. Early infancy. So the answer is letter C, early childhood. It is 2 years to 6 years. It is a preschool. So in the middle childhood, 6, that is 6 to 12 years. In the late infancy, that is 1 to 2 years. In the early infancy, that is birth to 1 year. 48. Which is or are not supportive of the development of creative thinking? A. Open classroom atmosphere. B. Authoritative teacher. C. Divergent questions. D. Authoritarian teacher. So the answer is letter D, authoritarian teacher, rigid, or it suppresses creativity. So in the open classroom, it supports creativity, and in the authoritative teacher, it balanced, or it is or they are supportive. Then divergent questions. So divergent questions, it encourage ideas. 49. With knowledge exploitation, which image of the teacher is unacceptable? A. Questionnaire. B. Guide on the side. C. A facilitator of learning. D. Omniscient teacher. So the answer is letter D, questionnaire.